I will say it was so much fun driving in LA during COVID.
Was it?
Because there was no one was on the freeway.
That's
so you'd be like,
true.
20 minutes, I'm in Glendale. Hey, now I'm in Long Beach. Woo!
God, it must have been so nice.
Yeah.
Bring it back. The traffic in LA is truly heinous.
We
It's
need
really
a new plague.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Comment Section Show, starring me, your fave. Everybody knows me. Who cares about me? On to the guests. Today we have the iconic, the hilarious, the legendary Rainn Wilson. Woo!
It's me. Enough about me. Everyone knows me.
That sounds really familiar.
People recently have been calling me like, as like a compliment. They're like, "You don't understand, bro. You're a legend. You're a legend." It's like, I'm not 87. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
literally.
ready for my in memoriam Oscars montage.
They're writing
Like,
your obituary already.
But legend sounds like I'm old, washed up, like I was like in television in the 50s or something.
Like you were Tom Brady or something.
Wah, wah.
Or no, Greg Brady. That's what I'm thinking of.
Greg Brady. Tom Brady.
Different
Yeah.
vibes. But thank you so much for coming on the show. It's an honor
you.
to have you.
It is. It
And
is.
I'm a huge fan of you.
It is an honor for you to have me.
Imagine if I had no idea who you were. I was like, they tell me you're great. I'm inclined to believe them.
That would be awkward.
That'd be really uncomfortable.
I'm thrilled to be here. You're
Yeah.
doing amazing stuff. I love the conversations you have.
Thank
You're
you.
mixing it up.
Yeah.
You're poking the bee's nest. You're making the world a better place. You're
Hopefully.
pissing some people off along the way and charming a whole lot of others. So I'm
Yeah.
here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm in it to win it.
Thanks.
Let's do this.
I really like going into that hornet's nest and just kind of kicking shit around, Just see what happens.
I've noticed that. I love it. Yeah.
Well, I'm honored to have you. I'm a huge fan
Oh, thanks.
of you as a thespian and also as an activist. I know you're a huge activist
Sweet.
as well, which
Yeah.
I genuinely very much so appreciate.
Right on.
So I would love to know, I know your lore, but just for those that don't, obviously, I'm sure most people know you as Dwight Schrute from The Office, which is a star role for you. But I would love to know what else you got going on outside of acting.
I'm on the comments section. I've made it. Are you kidding me?
And now you can retire and call yourself a legend.
I've achieved legend status.
Yeah,
This
now
might
that
get me
you're-
my star on the Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, you can cuss. You can cuss all you want.
Oh, I can, really?
Absolutely, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Spotify allows that, and
Yeah. Spotify is super cool with it.
Okay.
I mean, if they weren't, they did a really poor job
How about
buying
this?
me.
Fuck you, Spotify.
Well, see, now you're putting my job in jeopardy.
Uh-oh.
Well, one of
Okay.
my many.
See, I'm pushing the envelope.
Yeah, you see.
What am I working on? I got
Yes,
like
what you got going on?
I'm kind of joining your world. I've got a new podcast empire I'm building, Soul
Amazing.
Boom, based on a book that I
Yes.
wrote, and this podcast. It's on YouTube and other platforms and whatnot, and having deep, meaningful, probing, interesting, rebellious, soul-changing, life-changing conversations.
Yeah.
As being done by a former sitcom actor. So that's weird.
Hey, I mean, I'm a formerly disgraced, fired NFL worker, and now look at me.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Maybe that's
What?
maybe
Why did
that's
they
the
fire
path.
you?
I mean, I still don't know. Maybe they'll tell me eventually.
Wow.
But yeah, it just didn't work out. Like they restructured and laid me off after like 9 months, 9-ish, 10 months.
Wow.
But I was very unhappy working there.
But isn't it great how like one door closes, another opens? Like at the
Absolutely.
time, you were probably like, "Oh,
It was like devastating. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've had that so much. Do you have time for a story? Can I tell a
Please,
story?
yeah, tell as many as you want.
Okay.
We're here for you.
I'm gonna have 15 stories. Here's number one. When I was a young actor, I came out of acting school. A couple years later, I was cast in a Broadway show.
Oh, wow.
This was a huge opportunity
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely.
And I got so tense and nervous for being in this Broadway show that I sucked in it. Long story short, I just was really bad. I was self-conscious and doubting myself and trying to like control the performance and hoping people would like me. I bombed. I got bad reviews. I finished it. I fired my agents. And I was just like, fuck it. I am never going through that again. I'm not going to be this people-pleasing, like, actor that I think other people want me to be. I'm just going to be me. I'm naturally just weird and offbeat, and I have to have an authentic voice.
Totally.
But it was a nightmare. It was like months. I was sobbing to my wife on the phone. Like
Really?
I went through hell. I was like, it was really, really hard, but I'm so grateful for it because, and
totally.
when I trace Dwight back to the beginning, it's because I sucked in this Broadway play.
Mm-hmm.
When I came out of that, I was like, never again am I going to do that.
Totally.
And that allowed me to kind of be my natural weird self to play roles like Dwight in a way and
absolutely.
and embrace it. So
and look what happened when you were able to embrace who you really were meant to be.
We go through a little hell and then it actually opens a door and we're actually grateful for that. Are you kind of grateful you were fired?
Oh yeah, I'm so grateful now. I talk about it all the time, especially on here. And even sometimes like a lot of my friends who are really successful creators that have turned their creative, like the niche video content they've made, they've turned it into businesses and they're doing other really successful things.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been fired too. And it's like a catalyst because it's like it really puts you up against the wall kind of thing.
Right.
When I got fired too, I genuinely was like, what am I going to do? Like, I think because I found this out in therapy, but between the NFL and all the work I did in college, I was just constantly working towards that goal specifically. When I got there and I lost it, I felt like I realized then after going to therapy that I tied all of my worth and value to my accomplishments, but more specifically my career. So I was like, okay, if this doesn't work out, then who am I? I'm like, I'm nobody without this. That's how I felt.
I still suffer from that though.
Yeah, same.
So I'm in my 50s. And I still get so much of my self-esteem from whether I'm working or not as an actor.
Especially in entertainment, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. Like, why can't I just feel so good about myself?
And proud, especially of the legacy that you have in the entertainment world.
But also like this awesome body and just like everything
hot
I'm
bod.
working
I didn't
with.
want to say it. I'm glad you brought it up. Elephant in the room.
That's my DJ name, DJ Dad Bod.
Is it? DJing is one of those things where I feel like I look at it with no knowledge at all, and I feel like I could master it.
I think
just give me 10 minutes.
I think you could take like a 15-minute lesson on like YouTube.
Yeah.
And you could be a professional
Me on
DJ.
the ones and twos.
Yeah.
I'd be killing it.
Yeah.
I would be hired I'd be like, guys, I'm so busy, I can't. Sorry.
There was a great Saturday Night Live sketch from like 6 or 7 years ago and I think it was Andy Samberg where they were like I forget what it was, but they were just being DJs and just doing like that. Boom, and just getting bags of money, just giant sacks of money for doing shit.
If I start DJing though, I want to be like a Run DMC DJ.
Oh,
like
okay.
like an OG one where I'm scratching the records and everyone's getting annoyed at me because I'm like I'm doing too many of them.
Right.
But I'm so skillful they have to keep hiring me.
Yeah.
That's my goal. If this doesn't work out, pivoting to a DJ.
Vegas, sacks of money.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a
Vegas
high and tight
residency.
haircut.
Yeah.
Wear like a way too tight white t-shirt. I'm gonna go DJ in Vegas. I'm gonna pick up a residency at the Wynn.
Who's the guy with the mouse head?
Dead Mao, I think.
Yeah.
There's him and like Marshmallow.
A marshmallow head. Like I would want to just do a
big head.
Yeah.
Ooh, what would yours be?
It would be a Dwight Schrute head.
And then they would have no idea.
No one would suspect that it's Rainn
actually
Wilson
Dwight Schrute.
under the giant Dwight Schrute foam head.
That's
going,
a genius. That's genius.
Yeah.
I'll also do a Dwight Schrute head. We're built so similarly, I feel like they wouldn't be able to tell.
They would never tell.
They could never tell.
I always thought about dressing up completely 100% as Dwight and going trick-or-treating. and because no one would ever think like
no, never.
The actor, there's no way.
No, they would
Rainn
literally
Wilson
think like, wow,
it's gonna be like, oh, that's an older Dwight Schrute. Trick or treating.
He has an older take on it.
Yeah.
I would love to ask you about The Office if you're cool with it. I don't know if you're super, super bored and over it. Sick of it. Hate hearing about it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Before we get into that, we'll do bits first. Y'all, this is our new bit that we've introduced. We're workshopping it, okay? Considered it a type 2 episode thing.
You've bit-traduced.
Yes. So we're each going to pick a little line, and then we don't read them to each other. And at some point or another, we're going to work it into the conversation. And they are very strange bits from what I understand from my very talented producer, Amanda.
Okay.
Let's look. What's T in here?
You got a long one.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
It's a real hat in a hat. You making that's what she said joke. Did that joke come from The Office or did
No.
Okay,
We were making that joke in like the 70s.
Okay, I thought
The Office like perfected it.
I see.
Found that it was a perfect synchronicity between Michael Scott and having like a adolescent, juvenile sense of humor.
Totally.
And kind of reinventing it for the modern age.
I was curious. I was curious if that. You know what's funny is when I first started watching The Office, that was when Netflix was on CDs. So my parents and I would just order. They would order all the seasons that were out at the time, and they would have the CDs mailed to the house, and we'd put them in the DVD
That's
player and watch them.
hysterical.
Yeah, I'm an old man like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two old men
We'll
together.
be DJing together.
Together, both in big Dwight Schrute heads.
Yeah. Perfect.
They'll never be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
But I would love to ask you about The Office, just more
Yeah.
specifically about your character, because it was something that was so different from what was being seen on television, the character, the aura, the enigma that is Dwight Schrute. And I'm curious how much of that was you, like improv, and how much of it was writing, and was it just a perfect blend? Very curious.
Well, there's so many ways to answer that question. I mean, first of all, we had this amazing template of the British Office. They only made like 12 episodes, but Mackenzie Crook, who played Gareth on that show, was very different than Dwight, but did a lot of similar things, and it was great to be able to watch his magnificent work, and like basically like steal some good bits from him, like like one thing I loved the way that he did is he would say the most absurd things, the most absurd sentences known to man, with just absolute sincerity whatsoever. There was no like wink that this is a joke, and he did that so beautifully.
Yeah.
Like I just took that. But
Totally.
you know, we wanted Dwight to be a farmer, have a farmer background, because I had grandparents that were farmers. Greg Daniels, the showrunner, he had grandparents that were farmers.
That's cool.
And then the Dungeons and Dragons stuff was, I brought that in. That was part of my background.
Yeah.
And like, I did a lot of work kind of physically. I actually, in acting school, we studied clowning a lot.
Really?
Like, not like Ringling Brothers, like big floppy feet falling down with pies clowns, but like clowning kind of like, like Borat as a clown character. Like, how do you create a character
caricature
that's a little larger than life, but fits into the real world and it has kind of very physically, minded. And so I thought about Dwight in a lot of ways as the self-serious, officious clown who was also kind of a stuck-up, a kiss ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a melange of a lot of things. The writers threw in great stuff, and I did some physical work, and Mackenzie Crook had his take, and so it's a melange.
What was your favorite part of filming it, other than just the success of it and getting to like work on a show with people you love and everything? Like, was there anything that stood out that you're like, if I could go back and re-experience that feeling, I would want to? Like, was it an episode or maybe something that happened? Or
you kind of touched on it in the introduction. Like, one of the things like I didn't appreciate enough while we were doing it was like how groundbreaking it was.
Yeah.
And at the time, there were a lot of like big, bright, splashy, multi-camera sitcoms, like Friends on the air.
Yeah.
And then we came in, and it was kind of very low-key, weird-looking actors.
Yeah.
Fluorescent lights, and really odd verbal humor that wasn't quite jokes. And there was never quite a joke in The Office. It's just like odd, funny characters and funny situations.
Totally.
So
yeah.
I kind of wish I had leaned into that more and appreciated that more. What the writers were doing. And
yeah, I mean, honestly, because The Office is like a comfort show of mine, so that's one that I like watch when I like want to watch something.
Did you steal the DVDs from Netflix back in the day?
I didn't. I wish I did. They'd be relics now.
Yeah.
I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Off your guys' backs. I would have sold them easily. Anyways, that's besides the point. Enough about my side business. But I think when I watch it, like, the humor is just like the writing in that show is just unbelievable. Like, even when I watch it now as like an adult, when I watched it as a teen, I just thought it was super funny, which it still is now.
Yeah.
But just the writing is unbelievable. Like, the layers to each episode is just the layers to the jokes that are written in that show are just to this day some of my favorite things I've ever seen on television.
And I think one thing that people really, the reason it's kind of stood the test of time is that you can watch an episode 3 times and on the 4th viewing see a whole new reactions and hear little lines that you're like, oh my God, I had never even picked up on that before.
Yeah.
You know, little Easter eggs and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, like running bits throughout the seasons. Like I told my boyfriend this literally probably like a couple weeks ago, but one of my favorite running bits is how Michael is like, the way he eats is really gross, but it's not something that's ever focused on. It's just like in passing, she's like, how many Filet-O-Fishes did you order? And he's like, you know what? Never mind. Give me that. Like, it's just little bits like from season 1 all the way till the end.
Right.
It's little things like those are my favorite kinds of jokes. I'm a big fan.
That's great.
Huge fan. But I would love to talk about Soul Boom now.
Soul Boom.
Because I did watch clips from your episode with Serge Tankian, which I think is incredible.
Yeah.
So incredibly fun and awesome. But I would love to hear more about why you started Soul Boom and why, like, what your goal was and all that.
Drew, I'm trying to change the world. I'm literally trying to change the world. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding you. So I wrote this book, Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution.
Totally.
Because I felt like there were a lot of spiritual tools. And I'm talking to anyone who, you can have a faith, you can not have a faith, you can be Christian, you can be Muslim, you can be Buddhist, you can be spiritually curious, but in the land and the world of spirituality, there are tools that can make our lives better and that can make the world better. Not just people think of spirituality sometimes as like, I'm going to do a little meditation and it's going to reduce my anxiety, and that's important. But there's a lot more.
Small piece of it.
Yeah, that's a small piece. There's a lot more to it than that.
Totally.
So these kind of like, I've always loved working with these big ideas. I had a media company back in the day called Soul Pancake, and we did a lot of digital content on YouTube and stuff. And I've always been interested in kind of big ideas and, you know, challenging people. Is why I wanted to come on this show. And you know, we're on the verge of like the most contentious, bitter, disruptive, disunified election like in American history.
Yeah.
And people are at each other's throats. There's so much, you know, dissension, and we need tools to heal.
Totally.
And so those are the kind of conversations that I want to have on Soul Boom, you know, and be having, and we are having on Soul Boom, the podcast. Totally. And it's anyone from like stand-up comics to from like Whitney Cummings to Neil Brennan and Bobby Lee.
She's been on the show too.
And to like academicians, theologians, you know, deep thinkers, meditation teachers, like, and everyone in between, you know, but kind of having that conversation of like, how do we as humans do a better job
and like move forward
and
heal.
Heal.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
And change systems, change systems that are racist and sexist and materialistic and unjust in their DNA. And how do we kind of look at kind of big picture stuff.
Totally.
Not just kind of passing some legislation here and there, but rethinking how we kind of do everything. Yeah,
and how we see the world and perspective and all of that. I think that's beautiful. And I'm Indigenous, like I'm Samoan, so my family's Polynesian. And so there's a lot of spirituality in my culture and there's a lot of connection to our ancestors and there's a lot of beliefs and ideologies that we hold. And I feel like a lot of times people ask me like how I became this way, like someone who goes and antagonizes men on purpose for a living. It's real, really long story. But I mean, a lot of times I tell people a big factor, and that is my culture and how I was raised, because prior to my culture being colonized, like we didn't adhere to a gender binary. So there was multiple genders and there was no gender roles or anything like that. But at the very genesis of my culture, it's matriarchal. And so that's how I was raised. That's the family and the environment I was raised in. So my viewpoints and my perspective on the world is completely different from a lot of other people, I think. And that was made obvious when I started making TikToks. So when I started making videos and showing why I think the way I do, why I move the way I do in life, I think that's why a lot of people started gravitating towards me, because they were like, well, actually, I kind of fuck with that perspective. I think that's cool. And so they started following me. And then obviously me just absolutely swinging on men unsuspecting was a big sell too. So I won't downplay that part. That's not what you do. That's an unfair. It's a real crude description. It's a crude description. You're taking on kind of, I hate the phrase toxic masculinity, but kind of like the
the kind of masculinity that's making our world a worse place. You
Totally.
know? And you're taking it on fearlessly.
Yeah.
And good. You should.
You.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting especially because there are many, contrary to popular belief online, there are many straight men who do actually really like my content and enjoy my mission. Rainn is one of them, obviously.
Sign me up.
And so I have a boyfriend that I've been with this year 7 years. So there are many men in my personal life and everything who understand what it is I'm doing. And even when I've told people, you know, however someone chooses to respond to oppression or bigotry of any kind is not up to me. Like if something's happening to somebody else and they're being actively oppressed, it's not up to me to decide what's the proper way for them to respond. And so some people respond with love, some people ignore it, and some people get mad. And I'm one of the people who gets mad. So I think that there should be space for all of us to react however it is we feel suits us best. And some men just really hate the anger part. So they would prefer I do it another way. But I was like, but you don't listen either way, so I might as well swing.
You use anger as a kind of cultural criticism, and you do it in a smart way, and in a way that provokes change and is exciting. So, you know, I think it's great.
Thank you.
Really great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And for when you're talking about Soul Boom and like the guests that you've had, like what are some standout episodes to you that really maybe gave you a new perspective, maybe helped you think a little bit harder?
The upcoming Drew Afualo episode, I'm really excited about.
Well, you're welcome in advance. I'm going to do you a big favor, so I'll be calling that in soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what can I don't know. I love all of my babies. I love all my children
equally.
But I've always just been the guy that always wants to go for the deepest possible conversation and human interaction.
I love that.
You know, I remember going like on dates when I was 16 and being like, "So, do you believe in God?" Like, and the girls,
damn,
like,
you're one of those.
Yeah, and they just want out of there. Like, what do you think happens when we die? You know, and so that's freaked people out.
Totally.
And now I get to do it and get lots of people watching and have some jokes along the way and have a good time. So, we've had best-selling authors like Arthur Brooks and Jonathan Haidt, and we've had stand-up comics, like I said, and there's going to be actors and weirdos and people that folks have never heard of, and then people that are gigantic celebrities,
like me,
obviously.
You.
Obviously. What's your name again?
You should really know the name of the host of the show you guest star on.
I should.
That's a tip. Feel free to take that.
The problem is, ever since I got rabies a few months ago, seriously, it's screwed
getting
with my,
really hard.
It's screwed with my memory. Yeah.
The rabies is really getting to you. It's eating at your frontal lobe.
Yeah.
Or is it like Venom? You know how Venom, he like sits in there in your pocket?
Am I supposed to say that's your bit. I used my thing?
I'm assuming that's your bit. Yeah. Okay.
Or was I supposed to like let it go and pretend like... Anyways. All right.
We're workshopping. It's all right.
We'll figure it out.
We're workshopping.
I didn't
get
bits. Part 2. I don't know. Yeah.
What was I going to say? We got thrown off about the rabies thing. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your rabies. That's really unfortunate for you.
But I'm excited to have you on Soul Boom too.
Me too. I'm excited to go.
What do you want to talk about?
God, I don't know. You want me to do your show too?
Yeah.
You want me to come up with the idea for yours also?
Yeah. Could you?
God, okay. I'll work on it.
Can we do your bit on my show?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
TM. Actually, TM.
Well, I'll pay a licensing fee.
Yeah, there we go. Some royalties.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll take those.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm sure you get lots of views. I'll take those easily.
I think that there's so many things that divide us, and the thing that mostly unites us is the fact that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience.
Totally. And
that can be, we're in different bodies, we're different ages, we're different ethnicities, we're all kinds of different genders, and that commonality, the fact that we all have big beating hearts, that we all love, that we all have fears, this can be what unites us. And it doesn't have to be in some kind of like hippy-dippy kumbaya kind of way. It can be much more real than that. But we've got to find ways to kind of come together and pull together.
Totally. Do you believe in like spirits and stuff? Good and bad?
Do I believe in spirits, good and bad? Like, do I believe like there's like spirits that inhabit things and stuff like that?
Yeah, just that they exist and they can show you signs or they can point you in directions.
I will say I definitely believe in God, and I don't believe that God is some kind of like old guy with a beard.
Imagine if you were God. What if you took off the Dwight Schrute head and it was God
It was
instead?
God.
Then what? What if you went to the pearly gates and God was a DJ? Then what?
What if I dressed like Dwight Schrute and put a God head on
There you go.
spinning, take off the
Trojan
God head,
horse.
and it's Dwight Schrute is God.
There you go. TM. Don't no one take that. Tell the wind to
Wait a minute. You
get
just
ready.
got the TM? Is that all you have to do is say the word TM and then you get the
That's my
trademark?
understanding of trademarking, yes.
Yeah. So I believe that there is a gigantic, all-loving, all-pervasive cosmic force that's within us and without us and manifests itself in all kinds of different ways, including
Period.
through nature.
Love.
And that our souls, as when we get rid of our physical bodies and they decay, our soul or spirit or that spiritual element of ourselves continues a very mysterious journey. Can we commune with past selves and with ancestors? Absolutely. I believe that. So do I think that there's a spirit in this? I don't know. I don't quite know, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
The universe, the multiverse is a very mysterious place.
I know. I think I agree with that too. And I think everything that you said, honestly, I agree with. And I'm also, like I said, indigenous. So we do believe in spirits a lot. And like they manifest in very different ways in different cultures. And I mean, I'm currently in a book club where we're studying spirituality and also witchcraft a little bit, but just a little.
So like 80% spirituality, 20% witchcraft?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about our workflow balance.
Well, I will say that from what I've read and about a lot of indigenous cultures is that polytheism is not what people think it is. Like the polytheism isn't kind of like, oh, I worship this waterfall or I worship this tree or I worship the god of the wind or whatever. It's like all of these different elements are reflection of one kind of divine reality.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they're all different facets and different ways to understand the eternal.
Yeah, totally.
You can do it through the sun and through
Yeah.
time and through the wind and through the water.
Absolutely.
And through the seasons, you know, like it's a way of understanding, the beautiful metaphoric reality of being alive.
Absolutely. And it's funny too, because since I'm Polynesian, I feel closer to my ancestors when I'm on like in Hawaii or like any sort of Polynesian island. And so specifically in the ocean, we feel like the ocean is very healing in a lot of ways. And anytime I've gone like back home to Hawaii, because that's another home of mine, if I have any sort of ailment, I'm like, I just need to get in the ocean. Like when I get in the ocean, I'm gonna be healed. I know that for a fact. And like one time I had like a wisdom tooth got super infected and it like ballooned and it gave me the flu and everything. Was horrible. And so it was super, super swollen and painful, but I was like, I really want to go to the beach. So I went in the ocean and it literally went away.
That's
Went down
amazing.
almost immediately.
But most importantly, I really wish I had saved my rabies bit for
that.
right now, because I could say I had the same thing. I went
fired
to Hawaii,
off too
I had
soon.
rabies. I went in the ocean and
it
I was healed.
And then you came out a full werewolf.
And I could have, it would
What
have
if
been
yours was
seamless.
the inverse? You just went full feral
Oh.
instead.
I don't think
you.
rabies turns you into a werewolf. I think you're getting,
Have you tried? Go get rabies and find out. And report back to us.
hook me up. There's a lot of, in that alley, like right outside that door.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a ton.
There's some serious vermin.
There are some real vermin out
Viewers,
there.
this looks really nice here. Looks really sweet. You have no idea what's outside that door.
That's true. That's true.
It's
Whenever
ugly.
we DoorDash things, if they drop it off back there, someone's like, "Quick, go get it," because it gets stolen every time. Every single time.
And
If it's
you
out
don't
there
know
for-
if it's stolen by a human
Or an animal.
Yeah.
or a lycanthrope. Could have been
Yeah.
neither, to be honest, out in the
How do you know
sun.
that word, lycanthrope?
Because I'm a very smart person.
You are.
Rainn.
I'm not saying you're not a smart person, but I've never heard. This is the first time in my life, 58 years, that someone has used lycanthrope in a sentence. Is that your thing? Is lycanthrope?
No, it's not. It's actually not. Can you? I was just about to make a joke. I'm like, can you imagine that? I said, believe it or not, that wasn't my bit. That's just a word I got floating around up here.
I've never heard anyone say lycanthrope.
A lycanthrope, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, I just blew your mind.
You did. Blown.
Okay, let's go into the topic for today. Okay, so for the topic, we're going to be unpacking climate change deniers undermining scientific facts on TikTok. And I know you're a very passionate climate change activist.
I am, yeah.
And I've been following you on Instagram for a while, so I do know that. I've known that for a minute. You don't follow me, which is really embarrassing for you, but just something I need to throw in
make
there.
that happen.
Just something I had to throw out there to Rainn's team.
You're too angry at men all the time.
Well, they turned me into a lycanthrope. That's not my fault. They trigger me.
Great callback. They call it a callback.
That's called a callback for new people. Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple. Describe.
Yeah,
these
and
TikToks.
I want to set this up by saying, I used to just read climate change deniers and like send out angry tweets back at them, which of course does no good whatsoever. And I realized, hey, if this is something I'm really passionate about, I should probably fucking do something about it.
Yeah.
So then after that, like I joined the board of this nonprofit Arctic base camp and work with scientists there. We shot a show in Greenland. We've done a bunch of like activations, online stuff on the for media to try and like illuminate climate ideas through using media, social media. And the reason that I'm doing this, Drew, is because this is one of the kind of like pandemics that's affecting humanity that we have to take a look at. And it's not simply about passing legislation to reduce CO2. That's an important part of it.
Yeah.
It's like changing our whole relationship with planet Earth.
Yeah,
like how long as humans are we just going to like suck resources out of the planet, chew it up, spit it out, throw the garbage back into the ocean?
Yeah.
You talked about the sacredness of the ocean.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know about the garbage patch in the South Pacific, not far from Samoa.
Yeah, literally.
And you know, we have to shift our thinking about it's not just about climate in terms of like Democrat versus Republican and what legislation are we passing.
Well, capitalism plays a huge role in
it plays a huge role, and that's capitalism. Something else we have to rethink. I'm not saying like, oh, that means we become. As soon as you say that, people are like, oh, you're a communist. It's like, no, you just need to rethink. Unchecked greed. How about that? Could we just kind of consider unchecked greed?
Yeah, totally.
So,
well, even like when you're talking about Polynesia specifically, like in the Micronesian islands, there are some islands, they have a very historic birth defect rate in Micronesia. And for a long time, they couldn't figure out why. Then they realized it's because a lot of some of the islands off the coast of the main islands in Micronesia, because it's a whole bunch of islands in one, but they were doing nuclear testing over there for years. Yeah. And they absolutely decimated all of their natural resources, including the water. So they already had to leave the island, which they forced them to leave, right? And move to the other ones, which is overcrowding and it's just a lot of tension, like civilly. But on top of that, they live off the land, like most indigenous people do. So whatever they're farming or pulling from the water is poisoned. And so they had that was back in the 60s. And so now, I don't even know, 40, 50, 60 years later, they're realizing it's from that nuclear testing. That's why they have such a historic birth defect rate, which is so upsetting considering how many there are. And their birth defect rate is really, really high. It matches those that have populations million times the size. Yeah. So that's a huge, proponent for why climate change is so important, or at least to pay attention to it. At the very least, pay attention and see where you can help and what you can do. Yeah. But huge things like that affect all of us, like literally all of us. Yeah, no doubt. And, I know you're going to read some climate change denier stuff. And it's interesting because there's no winning an argument. Because they've done studies where people are like a climate change denier and they come in like with scientists and with data and they show them like slideshows and movies and they show exactly how the science works. Like, hey, CO2 and methane rise up here and they create a kind of a heat trapping layer. And this is how extreme weather events are tied to that and why the ocean's acidification and why it's so hot, and so early and so long. And how this is all working and why sea levels are rising and stuff. And they'll explain all this like really, and people will be even more entrenched in their view. Yeah, like dig their heels in. That it's all a crock of shit. Yeah, even when never understand. So no amount of like Facts.
showing data is going to convince people. So I don't know how, but we have to move people's hearts in a way and not kind of vilify, Republicans necessarily, or Republicans vilify Democrats. We've got to find a way to build a bridge, but I do think you can't pick and choose your science. You either are for science or not for science. So you can't go into your surgeon who says, "Hey, we need to operate on this cancerous tumor," and say, "Well, I don't believe in science. Well, I'll believe in that science." But I won't believe in this science.
Yeah, it's the same thing when people are like, "Oh, I don't believe in vaccinations. Like, I need to do my research," and it's like, well, what are the odds you're going to find something that he didn't find or she didn't find or they didn't find? And
the research is Googling it.
Yeah, I was like, they were in school for 50 fucking years and they're millions of dollars in debt. But yeah, sure, I'm sure you'll find something.
Yeah. You can't for climate change, you can't believe in the science that burning a heater heats your home during the winter. And I'm going to believe in that science. But I'm not going to believe that burning methane and coal and creating, tons and tons of CO2 is going to affect the temperature on planet Earth.
Yeah.
You can't.
That one? Nah.
Yeah.
That's none of my business.
Not that one. Because honestly, it is inconvenient because it would require some changes in how we live our lives. It's going to require some taxation, some legislation, turning to alternative energy sources.
Yeah. It's a whole, that's probably the most ironic and the most difficult part is that it really is going to take all of us. We really got to band together. Otherwise, we can't do it alone. Many on both sides have tried doing it alone and it doesn't work. So unfortunately, we're all going to burn alive together unless we lock in, team. Okay. So I'm going to read some of these videos. This one says, in this video, Dan Pena, businessman and former president of an oil company, is giving a talk where he says 55,000 years ago, the world was 2 degrees hotter than it is now. He's trying to make the point that the Earth's temperature fluctuates naturally over thousands of years, and that's just what's happening now.
Right.
55,000 years ago?
So this is the most common argument is the weather always changes, climate always changes. We're just going through a hot phase right now. X amount of years ago it was this, and 200,000 years ago there was no Greenland ice sheet. It was melted and the oceans were higher. This is just, there's nothing that we can do. But the point is twofold. One is, if you look at the chart and the graph of history, first of all, how do we know that it was hotter 55,000 years ago?
Exactly.
We know that because of climate scientists doing research.
I was just about to say.
And discovering that it was warmer 55.
Where did we get that information?
By drilling into ice cores and doing, rock samples and looking at flora and fauna. So that's number one. Number two, but if you look at the graph of history, there'll be warm stretches with the dinosaurs and cold stretches in the ice age, and it's flowing like this. And then you go like this, and then you know what a hockey stick graph is, right? Where it goes like this, where all of a sudden in the 1800s and in this century, it's like, boom, like that. Like never before in history has the climate changed in that way.
Yeah, it was like a gradual ebb and flow. It was not a straight up.
And then scientists can prove that the reason it shot up like a hockey stick is because of what humanity is doing to the atmosphere. So this is different. Yes, the climate is changing. The climate always changes, but the rapidity with which it's changing, the intensity, and the fact that it can be absolutely, corroborated that it's due to increased heat trapping gases. That as we've been burning peat moss and coal and covering up wetlands and creating superhighways and bulldozing over forests and chopping down trees, you'd have to just be an idiot to kind of go like, well, that's not going to have any effect on climate.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it may be something else.
So that's the most common one, and it's just a stupid and asinine.
Well, it's also it's strange too, even now, because during COVID and during lockdown, we saw unprecedented amounts of like pollution drop because nobody was going anywhere. Right. So like rivers were cleaner, the air was less smoggy. I feel like even if you don't want to go do more research, you could just look back then and be like, well, the air was a lot nicer back in 2020. why is that? And
Yeah.
it's because nobody was leaving the house.
Yeah.
Nobody was
Yeah.
driving their
Yeah.
cars. Nobody
Yeah.
was going to work. Like, nobody was doing all of the things that we typically do mindlessly.
I will say it was so much fun driving in LA during COVID
Was it?
because no one was on the freeway. So
That's
you'd be like,
true.
20 minutes, I'm in Glendale. Hey, now I'm in Long Beach. Woo!
God, it must have been so nice.
Yeah.
Bring it back. The traffic in LA is truly heinous.
We
It's
need
really
a new plague.
I
Call back.
I know the episode too that's on. That's
touch
Phyllis's
your-
wedding. It's E.T. You're Drew Barrymore. And I'm
You're an
E.T..
alien.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to read some of the comments on this. This one says, yes, it's so bad that the banks will hand out loans to any seaside condo developer who needs it without any climate clauses.
That is just not true. So, well, this is what happens with climate change deniers is they'll state things like it's fact, and it's not fact. Like, show your sources.
Yeah.
Show me your sources that
Every time.
there aren't kind of what did he say again?
He said it's so bad that the banks will hand out loans to any seaside condo.
That there's not like bank loans for environmentally questionable developments along the seashore.
Yep.
And people often say like, well, the Obamas bought a house on the beach, so why should we believe in climate change? It's like, because the Obamas are idiots. Come on, I'm kidding, but you know what I mean, like.
Well, it's
as
just
if that's proof, like the Obamas bought a house on the beach.
He's like, so case closed.
Yeah, there you go.
Case closed doesn't exist.
But actually, check out insurance because insurance rates all over the country. The insurance companies know they are not in denial.
They know everything before we do.
And rates
just
are going
like banks
up
do.
everywhere, and you cannot get fire insurance in huge parts of the West. So
That's actually very true. My mother-in-law was telling me that the other day.
yeah, and flood insurance. Try getting flood insurance in Miami right now. So
They're like, denied.
yeah.
They're like, I sense a flood. What if they were
But for a
talking-
lot of things, when people say stuff like this, you say, "Show me your sources." You know,
Yeah,
show me.
absolutely.
And it can't be Breitbart and it can't be Fox
Ben
News.
Shapiro.
And it has to be just a reputable, neutral news source.
A scientist would be best.
Yeah.
Like an actual scientist. This one says, I think the larger point is there were periods on Earth of extreme heat, yet the world's still around. So should we care, really? I don't know. Well, yes, you should.
You should care because first of all, if you love animals, a lot of people loves kitties and doggies, right? But they're not loving like the hundreds or thousands of species that are dying every year because of extreme climate and weather events. So we're going to lose. There's going to be climate refugees. There's going to be food. We just did a series of videos about how. We're going to lose the flavors that we love, like vanilla is becoming extinct.
I
Cocoa,
saw something about vanilla.
Yeah, and chocolate, coffee, pistachio, all our favorite ice cream flavors
The
are
ecosystem
threatened. So we should care.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should care. So
the ecosystem is such a delicate balance, and I think people forget that, like how the smallest insect could absolutely decimate an ecosystem if it goes extinct. Like it's the way it's so intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
So people think like, oh, if bees die, who gives a fuck? Whereas like bees are a huge proponent of everything we grow and harvest that goes into our food.
If you know anyone that's ever had Lyme, one of the reasons that Lyme has increased is because ticks have spread more because the temperature has gone up and they thrive. They don't get killed in winter as much, and deforestation and drought has increased the spread of ticks, and then more people are getting Lyme. It really is connected to climate. So there's all kinds of things connected to climate.
It's crazy how people turn or try to turn a blind eye to stuff like that, as if like we're not all gonna suffer. Like if it gets any worse, like we're all gonna.
And it's hard, and I understand it because it's hard to know what to do.
Yeah.
It is it's a difficult thing because it's a collective action. It's not an individual thing.
Yeah, totally.
You as an individual, you can drive an electric car, get solar panels on your house, and recycle your plastic, and that's all fine and good. But that's not really going to make
a difference.
But if we all collectively take action in some larger ways, we can make a difference.
Yeah, and even one of the easiest ways is to educate yourself.
Yeah.
That's like one of the best, the fastest and most accessible ways is to educate yourself. I truly believe that about even like secondary education. Like I've told people, because I went to college and graduated, and I know college isn't for everyone, but I've told people if you want to pursue higher learning, I highly encourage you to do so if you can and you would like to, because the way that education just, I truly believe, makes you a better person. Like it makes you a more evolved person, a more open and understanding, empathetic person.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways that affects how you see the climate, how you see systemic oppression, how you see all those kinds of systems that we should be paying attention to and trying to change or uproot entirely and build anew. I think education's a huge part
of what college does is it just teaches you how to think, and it just gets you in a room
on your own.
And it gets you in a room with people that have different opinions, and you're reading books and you're debating them and you're writing about them. And what's wrong with that? Spending a few years of your life early on in your life to kind of like learning how to think, how to challenge, how to think critically.
Absolutely.
You know, so many people just see climate change denier stuff and like, oh, that must be true. And they read a headline, that must be true. Like, dig deep, think critically, think for yourself. Don't just take what the political left is giving you. Don't just take what the political right is giving you. You know, think it through, do some reading.
Absolutely. I'm a huge proponent of that. Even sometimes like I'll have like family members or like even my mother-in-law, like sometimes she'll be like, what do you think about this? I saw this headline. What do you think? And I just give her my opinions on stuff. And I tell her like, that's just how I see it because I'm thinking for myself, right? Like I download the information, I look a little deeper, and then I decide for myself what I want to believe. So I feel like it's really that if a lot more people did that, that's why I always think, I think it's all the people on the fringe who are undecided either way, or they're a fence sitter. Those, I think a lot of times those are people that we can influence
100%,
to help and everything.
and
there's more of those than there are like a extreme on either end.
And I do think that's kind of what I'm trying to do in climate and in some of our initiatives is there's people that are never, no matter what evidence they're shown, they're never going to believe that climate change is man-made and fixable.
Yeah.
And they're going to believe that the cure is going to be worse than the result of the disease. And there's going to be a bunch of tree huggers that believe it anyway.
Which is another extremist point of view too, when they're like, oh, we should just get rid of all cars.
Yeah, and they believe like ban oil. It's like, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
like,
we need oil.
We can transition away from oil slowly over decades.
Yeah.
You know,
striking that balance.
So, but yeah, the movable middle, we call them. We can
that's
sway
a good term.
the movable middle.
Okay, love that. Okay, so in this video, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson explains that eventually when the water stored in ice packs melts due to rising global temperatures, the sea levels are projected to rise to the height of the Statue of Liberty's arm. So entire coastal cities will be submerged, and the way humanity currently exists will have to completely change. So obviously that's not a bad video, but the comments are bad. Like this one says, it's sad all these intelligent people still think humans are causing climate change. I just don't know whose fault is it then? Just the world? The earth just decided to turn against us at this time?
Again, they don't view it as that bad, but it just gets so complicated to unpack because mostly it has to do with partisan politics.
Yeah.
So mostly if you're a Republican and you're a right winger, you view kind of scientists as being part of like academia, and academia is bad because it's all a liberal conspiracy. And the liberal conspiracy is to have increased government and have more legislation and a bigger government. And if you're from the political right, you want less government.
Yeah.
And so anything having to do with like mandates of like how many miles per gallon cars should get and how we should use renewable resources and, you know, limiting coal mining and oil exploration, like that's big government overreach. So from a political point of view, climate change becomes the enemy because climate change necessitates kind of collective action.
Yeah.
And we're going to need some kind of government or government coalitions to effectuate collective action.
Totally.
So then it just becomes right versus left, you know, and it's unfortunate, but we are going to need legislation. We're going to need countries to work together internationally.
Yeah.
We're going to need collective action, and we're going to need some laws that change things. But you know, we did it. Like I remember visiting LA in the 70s. When I was a little kid, we went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And the air was like putrid. It was like yellow. It was like, I'm not kidding. It was.
Damn.
The smog in LA in the 70s was like so bad.
Really?
And guess what? We passed laws and we have emissions standards and we banned unleaded gasoline and like we reduced smog and et cetera. And like the air in LA is way better than it was.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. Do you know what chlorofluorocarbons are?
No.
So back in the 70s and 80s again, hairspray and Lysol had CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons
Like
in them. Aquanet, and we found out it was burning a hole in the ozone layer, and it really was and so they collectively, all the countries got together and banned chlorofluorocarbons, and guess what? We've almost healed the hole in the ozone layer that we caused in the 70s and 80s. So we can do it.
It's crazy how it's like we've proven that it is possible.
Yeah.
That we can do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting, like you said, it's just a really contentious point.
Yeah.
Now, and especially with the access of social media and everything, it gives people more access to more voices, whether they're for it or against it, unfortunately.
And the truth is, I don't know, I don't have the percentage on the tip of my tongue, but a vast majority of Americans think that climate change is man-made and that something should be done about it.
Yeah.
There's a very, very vocal,
Yeah.
like 15%,
Yeah.
that is online on everything, and there will be on this conversation.
Yeah,
and
totally.
they'll be saying, and the other thing they're going to say is like, fuck you, Hollywood celebrity, telling me how to act, flying around in your private jets with your giant house and your 17 cars. Like, don't tell us what to do. And I'm surprised that one's not on there, because that's a very popular one.
Yeah, totally. Especially when celebrities talk about climate change. I know
or
that.
celebrities talk about anything, and it's
Anything
true. No
important.
one. So
Anything
don't.
that's not
Please
silly.
don't listen to me. Please go to scientists.
Yeah,
Do
for
not
real.
listen to Rainn Wilson, douchebag, weirdo, liberal, former washed-up sitcom actor. Please go read Paul Hawken, Catherine Hayhoe, Michael Mann, all the top climate scientists, and just read the data. Pour through the data. That's all.
Yeah, if anything, I've told people before, like, you know, I'm not an expert on stuff. Like for my platform specifically, obviously I talk about misogyny and the patriarchy and all the different facets of that. I talk about like
Fake news.
white supremacy, talk about racism, all that stuff, transphobia, homophobia. And whenever I talk about that, even when I wrote my book, I got a really interesting question the other day, and this person asked me, like, what would you say, because my book comes out in July, and so they were like, what would you say? Because my book it's part memoir, part like manifesto, it's more sort of like self-help.
Aren't we in July? Isn't it July?
It's June. It's June, girl.
Is it not July?
Still Pride Month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still June. Allies.
Okay.
You and I were allies.
Ally.
And so the person who asked me the question, it was such an interesting question. I love when I get really good questions that make me think. But they asked me, what would you say to someone who read your book and thought, like, this is great, but it's entry-level feminism, right? And I was like, what would I say to that? And they asked me, yeah. And I said, honestly, I would say you're right. Like, you're absolutely right.
There's
like,
nothing wrong with
there's
entry-level
There's
feminism.
absolutely nothing wrong with it. I said, I am by
They can go to Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde.
Absolutely.
Next,
please do.
as
Please
part
do.
2.
And I said, like, I am by no means an expert. I have made that very clear.
Yeah.
I'm just a very proud and vocal intersectional feminist. Like, but I am not an expert. I'm not the first person to be a feminist. I'm not the first person to be mean to a man. That was rude. Like, I did not pioneer any of those things. I said the only difference is I had social media. That's the only difference. And I got to platform my ideology. But if that's their first intro to intersectional feminism and it makes them want to pursue higher learning, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Please do. Like, go seek an expert. Do not take my word and run with it. Like, please go seek more. Go look into more.
Yeah.
There's so many wonderful feminist authors that you could look into from so many different backgrounds that are actually like licensed and have doctorates in this and have studied it for years.
Sure.
And I said, the only thing I have is my lived experience as like an indigenous plus size woman in this world. That is the only thing I can pull from. That's what I am an expert in, is my lived experience, and that's it. And that's really what I talk about in my own personal ideologies and why, you know, it's very anecdotal in a lot of ways. So when I was explaining that to them, they were like, oh, okay, like that's really
Yeah.
interesting. But I
Yeah.
appreciate questions like that. But like you said, do not listen to me. Like, don't listen to only me. Like, please go. If anything, one of the wonderful parts of what we do, and like, obviously you're way more famous than me, but like to have the platforms.
So much more famous than me.
You are. You are. I will give that to you. That one little thing.
The rabies.
Yeah, and yet here you are having to come on my show because you need me. Oh, bummer.
I do need you. I need to connect with the young, vibrant generation.
Yes.
And learn from you and listen.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
How old are you? Do you have multiple kids? Just one?
Just one, 19, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has he graduated high school this year or last year?
He just finished his freshman year of college. Yeah.
Does he brag about having you as a dad?
No, he tries to hide it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So he wants, when I go on the campus, he wants me to like put on a COVID mask so people know like the word has gotten out, but he just doesn't want me. So it's okay. It's really a challenge to be a kid of a celebrity. It's a whole different weird set of challenges.
I can't.
He wants to just be as normal as possible, and I don't blame him. Yeah.
I can't relate to that personally.
You can't.
I know I need attention desperately.
Yeah.
Hence
and
this.
Here you are. You've got your own
I need
show.
it.
Yeah.
You get that.
Yeah.
You're an actor.
I get it.
I've told people if you're in entertainment, you have to love attention to some extent, even just a little.
Yeah, this whole thing of like the actors, like I just don't want anyone looking at me. Leave me alone. Please. No, it's like, go be an accountant. I mean, come on.
Yeah, for real. I agree with that.
So
absolutely, I've told people there are certain aspects to this job for me that because I was so aggressively normal before this happened, and now this happened, there are certain aspects that make me uncomfortable sometimes. Like the privacy thing is a little bothersome to me sometimes, but like past that, I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. I love the attention? Of course I do. Hello.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love to do this a lot. So
yeah.
Thank God it can pay the bills. Otherwise, I'd just be yapping for free.
That's great.
Which is what I was doing before.
Yeah.
Before this. Okay, let me read some more comments on this. This one says, sea levels were going to rise by 20 feet in 2000, still waiting. Well,
so
I feel like, how do they think 20 feet? I feel like they think 20 feet's like
but again,
2 million.
Again, where's your source for that? You know, where is the quote from whatever climate scientist
said
me the
that Carfax.
Sea level, show me the Carfax. Where that sea level is going to be up 20 feet by the year 2000. Where does it, who predicted that?
Yeah.
So climate predictions, by and large, by the climate scientists that were started in the 70s and 80s are pretty much right on the money. Is it, there might be, Al Gore made some sweeping generalizations in his movie An Inconvenient Truth that might not be 100% correct, but they're pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Miami is basically half underwater at this point. And one of the things, they won't insure cars now for water damage in Miami.
Really?
So because they're driving down streets that are covered in seawater from rising sea levels. So, no one said sea levels were going to rise by the year 2000. So, but they are going to rise, and we see that in all kinds of flooding that's happening all around the world. So.
Yeah. This one's a similar thing. It says, I was told this was all supposed to happen in the 80s and then the 90s and then the 2000s, then the 2010s, and now it's in the next decade. And then it says big grift. I love the idea that like this, let's just like say that there was this huge conspiracy to just convince people that climate change was a thing, even though it wasn't. And it's just to, make more legislation, more government, like who benefits from that? Like I also live in this country, so like if it becomes a more police state, which it is, if it becomes more policed or more, whether that's through legislation or what, I also suffer because why would I be trying to convince you to buy into it if it was also going to harm me? You know what I mean?
Well,
like
who were the first? What were the first organizations that did the studies that discovered climate change and its effects? Oil companies.
Yeah.
The first data came from oil companies, and they knew about the damage that their companies were going to be causing to the environment. They led with it for a while, and then they buried it, and then they had campaigns to try and discount their own evidence that they uncovered in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So if you also want to learn more about this, you can simply read the United States military's kind of guide to military preparedness around climate change. The U.S. military believes in climate change and its ramifications around the world. What are increased, hardcore weather events going to do? What is sea level rise going to do? What are droughts going to do?
Yeah.
How is this going to affect, the international relations, and how should we be prepared as a So people who don't believe in climate change must also not love and support the military. Do you think the military just bought this? Do you think NASA just kind of drank the liberal Kool-Aid around climate change? And Exxon and Shell back in the 70s and 80s?
Yeah. It's a similar it's like a similar parallel. It's a parallel in the same way when during COVID, when people who were actively speaking out against a vaccine and saying COVID wasn't real were all getting vaccinated. So it's like they're saying one thing, but they're doing another. So maybe we should be following actions as opposed to rhetoric and scare tactics. And like you said, maybe we should learn to think for ourselves and kind of put the pieces together on our own. They're saying that, but they're doing the opposite. So when
you don't want to think for yourself, that's fine. Just do what the experts, what the people that have spent 30, 40, 50 years studying it. Yeah. Just listen to them.
That's what I'm doing.
Not the one cuckoo oddball in the corner who's they're all wrong.
Yeah, they're
right.
all these people are sheep, and I figured it out.
Yeah.
It's what are the odds? That you're the guy, you're the one that figured it out, that's seen through it all. I think a lot of those people too think. Have you watched The Last of Us?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The scene with Nick. Was it Nick Offerman that he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he was kind of that libertarian, living outside no government, all government's bad government. And then the world ended and he ended up being right about what he was. I think a lot of those people think they're that guy and they're not. They think you're not him.
Yeah.
You're not him. You're someone who dies day one. Do you think you would survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Absolutely, I would.
You think?
I've learned enough from the character that I played, Dwight Schrute, I have weapons stashed all over my house. I would 100% survive. But, it comes down to this whole balance between individual freedom and initiative, this American ideal of don't tread on me, and every man for himself, live free or die. There's this kind of toxic individualism.
Yep.
And individualism is important. You express it, right?
Totally.
You love it.
Totally.
But there's also collectivism.
Yeah.
So how do we live in better unity, in ever larger, kind of more cooperative tribes?
Yeah.
This is part of a spiritual journey that humanity needs to make and take together. How do we find that balance where, of course, we don't all want to be sheeple with a big authoritarian state, whether it's from the political left or the political right, telling us what to think and what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do work together as tribes coming together and cooperating.
Yeah, we work better in numbers.
We do.
And like I said, it doesn't work unless we're all on the same, at least train moving forward.
Yeah.
May not all be on the same side, but at least moving in the same direction.
Plus, you're happier when we're in community. We're happier when we're in community with
I think
one
that
another.
all the time. And that's why I feel like a lot of the most hateful people on the internet, for example, have no sense of
There's
community.
no hateful people on the internet. What do you...
Oh, gosh.
Wait. But they what?
If there weren't, I wouldn't be here, Rainn.
They have no sense of what?
Community in their real lives. They have no sense of community. I actually, years ago when I first really blew up, I got a lot of hate, a lot of men making videos about me, whatever. And I had one guy in particular make a video about me that I never forgot till this day. And he actually expressed how he's honestly, I've seen a lot of the criticisms of Drew and her platform, and I wanted to comment on it. And he was a white guy, a former military member. He was in the service for a long time. And he said, if I had come across Drew's page 5-6 years ago, I would have hated her too. If I came across her years ago, I would have hated her also. And he was but I did a lot of learning and growing and evolving. And I read a lot of books. And he's I got to a point in my life where I was I am so miserable. I'm so unhappy. I hate seeing other people who are happy. I hate seeing people different from me that are happy. And he's when I had that really honest conversation with myself, I started doing a lot of reading and trying to understand, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
And he said he read this story, and I forget the name of it, but it was something about a dog sitting on a nail. And the dog sits on a nail.
Rabies.
Probably a dog out
I
there.
could have used rabies right there. Keep going.
Yet
Okay.
another missed opportunity.
I'm sorry to derail you. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. Just the dog sits on the nail every single day and yelps, but still sits there every single day.
Yeah.
And so they ask, if the dog knows that it hurts, why does it continue to sit on the nail? And he said, because it doesn't hurt enough. Once it hurts enough, he'll no longer sit there.
That's great.
And so he was saying, that was me. Like, he's like, sometimes you don't listen until it hurts enough. And so that's what she does, is she hurts you enough to the point where it's going to make you either stop what you're doing entirely, or it's going to make you rethink everything. But either way, you're going to stop. And that's the only goal she has. Her goal isn't to change you, and that's not her job. And I was like, period. I'm glad one guy gets it.
But we can refer that back to climate change.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting on the nail, and you know, prices are going up, extreme weather events, the hottest year on record last year, but it hasn't been enough. So unfortunately, humanity's going to have to like hit bottom and go to rehab in order it starts to change its ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're like an addict. We're addicted to oil and convenience and energy and capitalism and gain, materialism, and you know, and you know, we're selfish and greedy generally. So things are going to have to like really break down before we kind of look in the mirror and go like that guy did and go, okay, we're willing to make a serious, make some sacrifices in order to change.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too that, like I said earlier, it's very, to me, I feel like how other people react to things when they're being actively oppressed or harassed or disrespected or whatever is none of my business, right? But that's because that's something that's happening to that individual, right? But when we're talking about something as serious as climate change, that's something that affects all of us. So it's important, like you said, like individualism is very important, but collectivism is just as important, and community is just as important. Like,
or more.
Yeah, even more so. And I feel like too, even when I talk about, like on my platform, about men and, you know, ones that suck or whatever, and how they suck. But I've also said, I've gotten criticism, especially recently, of men saying like, oh, well, you have a man. That makes no sense. To which I'm saying like, well, I can still hate the collective of a misogynistic man and still have found one that's not like that. I don't know why that's so hard for them. That math is damn near impossible for them to do. And when they're talking about that, like in reference to me, I always think, first of all, to give me credit personally for making all women hate men is crazy, considering we're in 2024. They've done more than enough things, including climate change. That's also men's fault.
Kind of is.
Everything. I made this joke in a video recently where I'm like, everything awful you can think of in the world can be traced back to a man, whether it's traffic, capitalism, war, or climate change. All of that, the genesis is a man.
Yeah.
So I always think you don't need my help to get people to hate you. Like the PR you're doing on your own, it's killing it. Keep it up, girl. The only thing I'm trying to get people to hate, papayas. I hate those.
I love papayas.
Do you? Too many seeds. Hate them.
I love papaya. Yeah. That makes me really sad.
That was my bit, Rainn.
Oh, you did the papaya.
Yeah, that was mine.
Well done.
I got your ass.
You did a good job.
I fucking got you. Fucking got you.
I still don't get the point of it, but whatever. It's good.
Does your 19-year-old know this joke? Does he know?
He probably does. Is that a meme thing?
Give him one of those. Give him one of those. Next time he's...
And what does that mean? That's like
it's just like,
train thing going down? Like stop you?
It's just kind of like...
Got you?
It's kind of like a boy. It's just a roast. It's a roast. Think of it that way.
It's like, boom, you're roasted?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if he's wearing shoes, like just any shoes, what if he wasn't wearing shoes? He shows up, you just go...
Yeah.
Got him. And then after he looks at you and he looks up at you, you go, got him. That's for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Rainn, that's why they pay me the big bucks around here. They don't pay me at all. I'm just here on my own free will.
Yeah. That's great.
And I won't be paying you. I hope that was made clear.
The only reason I came is because I was told.
Yeah. You know what? We'll talk after.
Okay.
Well, just
you can pay me in papaya.
Okay. I'll give you all mine. Yeah.
Call back.
Yeah, I'll call back. That's what she said.
Nice.
Well, to wrap things up, I would love to know, what would you say is your best piece of advice for someone who maybe is trying to, whether it's inspire or like move people to want to learn more about climate change or do what they can, or like kind of get them to at least care or pay attention to it, what would you say is your best piece of advice for them?
I think climate is a tough one because, again, like, what can we do as individuals? It's so small. It feels so minor and so puny. It's such a giant topic. It's a topic of like 200 countries and 7 billion people. That's who should be having this conversation. So collectively, we can do a lot. So find a community, find a group, find people that you kind of can collaborate with and work together, build community around the ideas around climate and climate activism, and just get educated, get super educated.
Totally.
There's this guy, Paul Hawken. He has 2 books.
Ooh, love.
One is called Regenerate, and one's called, I forget the name of them, but he has 2 books and they simplify everything and they break it all down.
Oh, nice.
Highly recommend those books as a starting place.
Love. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Drew.
I'm a huge fan.
Thanks for having me.
We had a grand old time.
Will you
I'd
come
say.
on the Soul Boom podcast?
Absolutely. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow. Guess we'll see. I don't even know when they're going to see this episode, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll
Who
see.
knows?
I will be going on that podcast tomorrow, though.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure everybody knows, but where can everybody find you on socials if you have?
Van Nuys.
You're just doxing yourself.
1421 West Whitsett Avenue. No, I don't live there. They can find me, on social media and Soul Boom. Follow at Soul Boom on
Yes.
Instagram, TikTok, and the YouTubes.
Yes, an incredible podcast, which I will be on.
Yes, yay.
So consider following that in order, team. All right, consider that in order. I'm doling them out.
Thank you, Drew.
See, the country I run in here, it's
Yeah.
a dictatorship.
Yeah, that's very
I
clear.
rule with an iron fist.
Yes.
I'm real medieval in the way I rule my country. You know what I
okay.
mean? Got a town square,
Okay.
a town crier. I got gallows, the whole bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Got a whole bunch.
Wow. That's serious.
That's what I got going on.
All right. You're doing a great job. I'm happy to be here in your town square.
Thanks, Rainn. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Thank you so much to my amazing guest, Rainn Wilson, and I'll see you next week. Bye.